right, yo, Boosie, bring him back into the conversation.
Boost.
Since the last time you sat in that chair, Boosie, who's a friend to this platform, he don't ever disappoint. He's gonna say something that's gonna go viral, and he's gonna say something that, in a lot of times, I don't care what y'all think. It's my truth, and I'm just gonna speak it. Him and Vlad sat down, and he said emphatically that the joint album with him and Tip was done because Tip allegedly snitched on his dead cousin. Now Tip came back and said, look, I made up that story and I got the paperwork to prove it. And more important, him and Boosie supposedly spoke offline and the album is back on. Now, before I throw it over to you, I was talking to Vlad offline. I didn't see it myself, but Vlad told me either Tip put out a tweet or did a news article where he was essentially like, yo, Vlad is part of the problem. He has a divisive platform. So, number one, what's your thoughts on Boosie speaking his truth in regards to I'm not putting that album out? And number two, on Tip, his thoughts on this being a divisive platform.
Okay, let's just keep it a buck. All right. Boosie is who he is because early on in his life, he decided he wanted to be a rapper, right? Boosie was willing to talk about the things in the way he chose to. He was willing to say things that other people might not have had the courage to say, might not have had the prowess to say, might not have had the gall to say. But because he would say it, people got behind him and he became Lil Boosie. Living legend Lil Boosie, okay? Whether he was living legend or not, he's got a right to share his thoughts on how he feel. Whether it's about his son, whether it's about his daughter, whether it's about him, whether it's about his cohort and friend, T.I. Hey, man, that's really their situation. So a lot of people say, nah, man, I don't like that. You can't just speak out on me publicly. Okay. Well, what happens if I speak out on you publicly or vice versa and we make amends publicly? Is it still the wrong message? Is it still a bad narrative? Because if we can agree to disagree and don't nobody die in the process, but we have evolved enough to where we understand I'm willing to shift my angle a little bit to possibly be able to perceive your angle a little better or understand you a little better or the overall situation of life and we can coexist, then kudos. So if the album back on and they made amends and they good, awesome. Now you don't want people to think that the idea now is you could just put people on blast in the public eye and then turn around and clean things up in the public eye and that makes it good. But I would rather be able to understand that I'm willing to speak my truth, whether wrong or right, then I'm willing to be a man to accept whether I was wrong or right and make amends with anybody that I have an opposition with or against. And we could move on and coexist. If that's the narrative, if that's what I could pull out of that, then I'm not even mad at all. Because at the end of the day, you'd have thought, damn, Boosie all the way in Atlanta, Tip got shit like he got it. Like, people still love Tip. No, don't think they don't. Let's be for real. And bro, you gonna go again home like that? Okay, oh, y'all made up. Okay, good. Damn. All right, them boys real friends. Oh, I guess that's what real men do. That's what real friends do. Sometimes it take a little friction to stir the pot to get people to paying attention to how it forms in the end. You know what I'm trying to say? You see steel workers Think of steel, how hard steel and iron is. And you see them bring that shit when it's hot. They get the end on that shit. Wow. Wow. They hit it and put it back in the heat shit up again and hit it again. Wow. Bow. And by the time they end, the end results is some beautiful piece of art or some tool that we all need. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at it like that sometimes. Sometimes it's going to take you to heat something up, to add the friction. We got to bang around and bang on it here and there till we get it right. And then when everything cool off and we polish it up, we got the best piece of whatever it is, whether it's art or a tool, whether it's furniture, whatever it is. It took a little heat and a little conflict to get us to this point. It's the end result. I keep telling y'all this. The end result, as long as your end result can come out to be good in a positive way, then the overall situation is a learning lesson and it is deemed as not as bad when you have a better turnout. And that's what we talk about, end results. Vlad, your second part of that question, you was asking me about the platform, right? Now, ask me that question again so I can make sure I hear it clear because I want to answer it clearly.
Okay. Tip, and I got this from Vlad.
Oh, basically said that this is a divisive platform.
Correct.
Well, here's the thing. Let's say you already feel that way. It's a divisive platform because you let people come on here. Then when people get to talking, then it put people against people. But then because I don't fuck with you and I'm holding my nuts on you, then I don't come get on your Vlad. I don't come get on your platform to defend myself. Then it feels one way. And then it feel like we ain't rocking because it's divided. Well, the news is divisive. Sports is divisive. Politics is divisive. Religion, even religion, is divisive. Because it's saints and sinners. Now I can keep going into that, but I don't want to expound on that too far because I don't want Tilt to feel like what he's saying is wrong. In his mind, in his heart of hearts, it could feel that way. A lot of people feel like Vlad the police. Vlad is not making nobody come on here and say or do the things that they doing. Now, don't get me wrong. When Vlad interviews, Vlad kind of navigates his interviews. That's his journalist approach. Now, it's up to you, the person who's being interviewed, it's up to you on how you share information, how you divulge this private info. It's up to you. Now, when you start doing all that, then you got to be held accountable. You can't say it's Vlad. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's just like right now. Man, these police lame as fuck, boy. But the police, boy, this shit set up to take you down. Well, if you already locked up and you talking on the phone, you kind of get what I'm saying? Is it really the police or you just, you talking while people are listening? That's the whole concept of what it is. The platform has leveraged itself to this huge platform and people are listening. So when people talk, it stick more because it's heard by more. So when that Vlad, well, I heard on Vlad, but you know what they say about Vlad. But, hey man, to each his own. Listen, I ain't involved in no criminal cases. Nobody around me involved in no criminal cases. I don't do criminal shit. So I don't have the same conversation about, when people say Vlad, the police, and all. I don't have that conversation. Saying it's a divisive platform, I mean, damn near every platform you see is gonna have some type of divisiveness. Hell, American Idol, you had winners and losers.
Nah, you're absolutely right, kid. You're absolutely right.
When you talk about our government, you got red and blue. Talk about the streets, it's red and blue. I'm just saying, I mean,